not even that good.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 21 of the Will at Dyno vlog. I just took a quick glance at the schedule this week, see what all we got going on. It appears we got some fuel system upgrades that we're going to be doing this week. And of course, a whole lot of dyno stuff. And a bunch of random miscellaneous ones. This week's going to be a bit crazy here at the shop. I'm projecting quite a few late nights with the amount of work we got right now. But that's pretty normal for us. Bust your ass off in the summer, since that's our busy season. And, well, kind of bust your ass off in the winter too. But let's go check out what we're going to work on. So this week, we have a super clean Ford Mustang GT500. We're doing some blower upgrades. You can see the blower's already on it. And we're going to install a 4 Innovations fuel system. And then we're going to tune it on E85 and 91 pump. So otherwise this car is bone stock, beautiful up top and underneath. As you can see, everything pretty much is brand new. I think it has 4,000 miles on it, something like that. Is that what it has? 4,000 miles. So let's get to work. Alright, so we got the stock pump out of the GT500. This is the conglomeration that is the factory fuel pump setup. This is a voltage-driven fuel pump, and it is a twin pump setup, as you can see. Both these pumps are rated at 12 volts at 110 liter per hour. I know that doesn't seem like much, but because this is a returnless style, it's a voltage-driven regulator on that. So essentially these can get driven at like 15 volt. So that output obviously is way more than 110 at that. But the fuel pumps we're putting in here now, this is the 4 Innovation kit, and this is a twin pump setup from them. These are twin 460 liter per hour pumps. This setup here is capable of, well, we've done almost 1,200 on E85 with a setup like this before, 1,200 horsepower. And obviously, like I said, this is a return style, so this will have a regulator, a 1-to-1 regulated fuel pressure regulator on it. And the main difference between these, one thing I'll show you real quick, why this one looks like a mess. This is where these pumps Y right here. This is a pressure bleed off that Ford puts into these. In case it makes too much fuel pressure. And this here is actually part of the jet pump. This is what essentially siphons fuel from the other gas tank, because there's actually 2 different like saddle gas tanks in here, and that actually sucks the fuel out of the other side, and it uses that to make the tanks average level. So this one has the same thing. Here's the input for the jet pump, and the Y system is built in here. There's no pressure relief on the 4 Innovation kit. So let's put this kit back in. Let's finish buttoning up our fuel system stuff, and then let's start tuning this thing. So the plan is to do a potentially do a pump gas tune 91 and an E85 tune. So should be interesting to see the horsepower difference. Well guys, here's the other car we're going to work on this week. I haven't looked at this thing at all yet, so what I know is that this is a twin turbo car. See if we can take a look. Obviously it's a manual. It's here because we're going to do another four Innovations dual fuel pump setup. These are also a voltage driven pump from the factory. See if we can see anything. Well, they're down there somewhere. You can kind of see an air filter right there. We'll get a better look once we get it up on the hoist. But it's got twins mounted down low. We're going to do the 4 Innovation setup. We're also going to do a flex fuel setup on this, and we're going to install a AEM True Boost gauge, so that way when he's running E85 he can bump that boost up, make more power. So we'll see how much we can make on this stock clutch, because I think it's a stock clutch still. I could be wrong though. Well, I suppose let's get to work. Alright guys, so I got the SAMP on the hoist. I'm going to show it to you real quick before we start tearing it apart. This is an AGP low mount turbo setup. As you can see, the turbos are mounted down low. Here's one here and the other one here. Well, the only difference between this and like a mid mount or a high mount, the main thing would be the oil return setup. It's kind of a big thing. That's what these here run up to a scavenge pump. Because the turbo sits so low, the oil doesn't drain right into the pan. Obviously, here's the pan level, quite a bit higher. So you have to end up running a scavenge pump on these to keep oil from building up in the turbos and to keep it from smoking all the time because of that. Well, I suppose let's get to work. Alright guys, so we got to go over these Camaro ones real quick. So this car was previously tuned by another shop when it came here. All we did was the fuel system install, the return style fuel system install, and the AEM True Boost install, so that way we could turn boost up when it's on E85, since we did do flex fuel and everything with this also. So we did, the first pulls we did with this car, we did some baseline pulls with the tune that was previously in it. Now when we did the return style system, we didn't change injectors or anything like that, so it's still the same injectors. So essentially all we did was turn off any of the codes in the computer that were related to the voltage module for the non-return style fuel system, and did baseline pulls. So you can see the baseline pulls here makes 522 wheel horsepower and 427 foot-pounds of torque. Now one thing I'm going to point out, the tach signal was incorrect for all these dynographs that I'm going to initially show you here. So if you look at the RPM signal on the bottom, we weren't spinning it that far. So the torque signal is going to be skewed, but that's fine for comparison reasons. Horsepower will still be the same, just the torque number skewed, but you can still see the gain. So baseline pulls, original tune from previous shop, 522 horse, 427 foot-pounds of torque. So then what we did, and this is on 6 pounds of boost, 91 pump, we fine-tuned that, and you compare here. Just compare here, the blue line is our tune, everything finally dialed in, made 561 horsepower and 469 foot-pounds of torque. That's a pretty good gain considering all we really did was finally tune what was in it before. Obviously, you know, we did a lot with drivability and things like that also, not just power numbers on this particular car. Now, at that point, we went and we switched to E85. I don't have a graph here for that, but when we switched to the E85, without changing timing or fuel, well, setting fuel up for the ethanol, but not changing timing or anything like that, we did have a power gain on 6 pounds of boost of around, I want to say it was like 50 horse and about the same torque. Once we got that dialed in, then we went and turned boost up. Now, like I said before, 6 pound base, we did turn it up to 9 pounds, so a whopping 3 more pounds of boost. So here's a comparison of the pump gas 91 on 6 pounds versus the E85 tune on 9 pounds of boost. Obviously the E85 tune is the red one, and substantial horsepower difference there. 727 wheel horsepower and 617 foot-pounds of torque. Once again, torque numbers still reading wrong, same thing here, so you still get to compare, and should be a tire burner for sure. And then I got one more graph here. This is the final right here with the torque signal set up correct. This is kind of a warm pull, so horsepower is down a little, but torque number definitely went up with the torque correct. So 710 wheel horsepower, 725 foot-pounds of torque. Okay guys, turn that down. It's Friday, I'm headed home, and I just realized I forgot to do an update in the shop this week. Sorry. I'll make sure I'll get one next time. It's been a hell of a week. You guys have a good weekend. Have a good 4th of July. We'll catch you later. Okay. Hold on. You're good. Quit playing.
What?
Complaining? I put plane in there.
Wait. Cut. Do it again.